Hi there. Welcome to West Texas, sunny West Texas. Mixed today, a little clouds. We got the storm front coming in. Hopefully get some rain out here. Yeah, it's drier. My name's Casey. I'm just an avid do-it-yourselfer. I like doing a lot of stuff myself. Built my shop. My wife and I are originally from Wisconsin. We just moved out to this part of West Texas about 2.5 years ago. And so far loving it. Learning the weather. It's a little different, but we're in Wisconsin. And why did we want to move? It wasn't sunny enough and it wasn't warm enough. So here we are. Now, I never got involved in solar in Wisconsin because it's just not that sunny in Wisconsin. I'm not saying it's not worth it in Wisconsin. It could be. We just didn't have a good south-facing area. It would not have been worth it. So now that we moved out here and we finally got stuff situated, I got the shop all built up last year. Finally finished it last year. So kind of looking around, it's just like, man, we had that snowpocalypse, kind of lost power back in 2021, where we were without power. Well, most of Texas was without power and rolling outages and that. And well, I do have a gasoline big boy generator right in back of me. That was nice. It's not big enough to run my heat pump, but anyways, I want to get in the solar, more of the solar. I'm actually a power gen guy. Not anymore. I finally got out of the power gen business, and once we moved, I was power gen in Wisconsin. I worked for Waukesha Engine and then Generac for a short time. So I wanted to start diving into the solar part of it, and it started off as a backup, just a backup. The generator was nice, but like days like today when it's really windy, we could lose power in a heartbeat. We could be without power for 30 seconds. We could be without power for half a day. Now on a day like today, we don't need air conditioner, we don't need heat, don't need anything important. But if it got nighttime, my wife works from home some days of the week, and if she wanted to continue working from home, we'd have to fire up the 7,500 watt generator just to do that. So I thought it'd be nice just to have backup, battery backup, and do it with solar, so I didn't have to pay to charge it. It'd be ready. And it just kind of got me thinking. It's just like, well, it'd also be nice where I could feed some stuff back into my house and maybe shave a few dollars off my energy bill. Now, electricity here in Texas is it's cheap compared to Wisconsin, where we used to live. I can't give you an exact quote. I mean, we can pay anywhere from 10 cents a kilowatt up to 22 cents a kilowatt. It depends on your usage. It depends where you are. It depends on the time of year. There's just a lot more variables. We're with a co-op, so ours is pretty steady. I'd say we're probably right around that 12-cent kilowatt range. So payback for us is it's going to be way out there years. But I'm not doing it for the payback. I just had a hard time spending a couple $1,000s for a battery backup. Well, it sounds like it'd be a lot more convenient than the generator. It's hard just to shell out a couple $1,000s. And plus it makes it a little bit easier to swallow if I can just add a couple $100 more and then recuperate, $10 a month in my electric bill. So take you outside. I'll show you the panels. It's windy out there, so forgive the wind noise and everything. I'll just show you what I have. I have them set up. They're rolling. I kind of pull them in because we get a lot of hail. Like I say, tonight there's actually a storm front moving in. They are forecasting hail, so I'll probably wheel them under the carport tonight. So let's go take a look. So here are those two solar panels I was telling you about, on the platform. And like I say, I have wheels on the front of it, so I can just take it. If we get hail, like they're forecasting the storms for tonight, I can just wheel it underneath the carport here if I feel they might get damaged. Now you'll have to excuse the wind. It's windy out here, and plus I got a plane going overhead. Sorry about that. But they're just the two ordinary 200-watt panels right now. And I just left enough slack to where they can go back into the shop area. So that's about it. I'm looking at the 10 I ordered. I'm still debating whether or not I want to build, some more where I can put the panels and move my truck out of there, because I can park that somewhere else where if it's going to storm out, I can move them in there. But I do have, I could go up on top of the roof over here, because I do have a nice space up here that faces, due south. So I'm still up in the air about that. Any kind of comments you guys might have, if what you tried and that. Plus out here, I live on a dirt road, and it gets dusty out here. At the wind, we also get a lot of dust storms and stuff. So it's nice to kind of have them on the ground where I can just dump a bucket of water on them, wipe them down, and they're clean again. Yeah, hopefully you could hear all that out there in that wind. They're two 200-watt panels. Bought them off of Amazon, Renogy. First one, they both came. I had to send one back. They trashed it. Yeah, it was no good. Sent it back. Amazon, they're great with all that stuff, so they sent me a new one. Yeah, so I got them hooked up. Paid way too much money for them. It's like $220. It's like $1 a watt. And I actually ordered 10 more panels from that Santan Solar, the one in Arizona. It's going to be going on 2 weeks pretty soon. And no, I take that back. Today is a day over 2 weeks since I ordered them. And I finally emailed him last week sometime. I said, well, what's up, dude? And he's like, well, it can take 10 to 15 business days before they ship. I wish he'd put that in their website, on their eBay thing. Not that I'm super upset about it, but it would have been nice to know that ahead of time, so I didn't have to waste time wondering where they are when they're coming. So we'll see when they get here. I mean, they have really good reviews. Hopefully they follow through on it. So right now, those two solar panels outside, you can see it's a little bit hazy out there, but I have them hooked up to one of those cheapy Amazon grid tie inverters. So yes, this is what I started with. And this was actually just an afterthought. I started with a battery backup plan, but I thought, well, I'll try one of these out and see how they work. So I tried it for about a month and a half now, and it's doing its job. I mean, you can see it's hazy. It's, almost 4:45, something like that right now in the evening. And we're pushing about, 160 watts. On a sunny day, at peak hours, it'll go up to about 280, 280. It won't go over 3. And I'll explain that in a little bit, why I sized that. That's just going to stay that way. So that was the start of it. So then over here, just got this in last week. I needed to find a battery. So I decided on this Inverter battery. I bought it off of Amazon. I found out later, it basically they ship it right from their warehouse, right from Inverter. And I could have saved like almost $10 with a coupon on their website to get it. So go to their website. It seems really like a really decent battery. I haven't gotten to use it yet. I just finished charging it up over the weekend. I used solar to charge it. I disconnected the Amazon inverter, and I had the solar going over here to the charger inverter, charge it up. So I charged it for free. Now I just have it plugged into the AC, and it's just, float charging it, keeping a charge on it. But they seem really good. Not only did Amazon tell me they shipped it, they sent me something separate that says it shipped. If I have any questions, they followed up on it, and they said, oh, we know your battery arrived. Let us know if there's any problem. So they seem really good. I didn't have to follow up, I didn't have to use their customer support. But if they do what they started off doing, they seem like a really decent place to do business. Now, I got no affiliation with anybody. This is my first video, dudes. Nobody. So, no, they seem really decent. It came very well packed. and I'll show you the packing on our way over there. But UPS out here in this part of Texas, we live on a dirt road. They're not very gentle. Like I say, one of the Renogy paddles came damaged. It's kind of, sadly, it's kind of common out here, you know, with the UPS. I'm sorry to say, I used to really like UPS, but FedEx seems to do a little bit better out here. So that's the battery. I know I'm going to need more for my plan. I at least want to get one more, but I just want to make sure I know what I'm doing with all this stuff. And if I blow something up, I just want to blow up one battery. I don't want to blow up two batteries, I guess, if you can hear me what I'm saying. So I have them hooked up to this, what I decided on, this grow watt. Now I'll explain why I decided on this one, because I couldn't decide whether I wanted to go, you know, with a separate charger, you know, a little bit cheaper inverter. I could have saved, because this was like $750, and I could get a bigger inverter. You know, now this is 3,000 watt. Now to get the same inverter, the same size, you know, it has an 80 amp battery charger in it. Do the same thing, I was looking at about $500. And for the extra $250, I get one that has a lot of resources. A lot of people have these, so there's a lot of good blogs out there, forums out there where you can get a lot of information on these. That's one of the reasons. The second reason is I eventually want to do a 240 split phase. So this is one of the units that if you add another one and you get the special, the parallel board, I'm sorry, you can put the two together and then you can have 240 split phase. That's why I want to do that, because that's what I want for my house. So this way I can't run my heat pump, because they put in a 5-ton heat pump for some reason in this house and it won't run it. But I can run my whole house except for my heating and air conditioning. I can run most of I can run the water heater. I can run most of the stove. I can't run everything on the stove. I can run all the lights. On the 110, you're basically running about half your house, and you got to switch outlets and do all that. I don't want to have to do that in the long run. So this is a start. Yes, please don't nail me for this hokiness on this wires. I got it. I just hooked it up. I wanted to see if it worked. And yeah, these came from the solar panel. This one goes there. I know this is not good. But it's just sitting here. It's really not doing anything other than what you see it's doing. So that's why I chose what I'm doing. I'd like to get another battery, as long as I don't blow this one up and I'm do everything right. It seems to be working. I'd like to pick up another battery. And so this one now, this here is part of the battery backup thing. And over here, here's the box that battery came in. You know, you can see inside the box, it came in the styrofoam in the box, and it was just very well packed in here. I was really impressed. I was kind of nervous about doing a 50-pound object through our UPS over here. Now, for when those panels come in from Santan Solar, I have two more of these cheap inverters. I decided to go with the 1,300 watt ones. They're probably the same as the 1,000 watt ones. I'm guessing they just put this, you know, fancier sticker on there, so they charge you $6 more, because that's what these cost me, was $6 more. It was like $106 rather than $99.88 or whatever the other ones were. So it cost me like $6 more for these. So you get a fancier stickers when I'm guessing. I'm not going to pull these apart and check them with the one I have. I'm just guessing they're probably the same thing. So more wire for when the panels come in. Wires, meters, circuit breakers, relays, fittings. I'm starting to get everything all together. Now it's slowly, because every time I do something, it's just like I'll do a little bit more research. It's like, oh crap, yeah, I didn't think of that. So you know, I'm hopefully I can help somebody with this video. I'm hoping to come across some people that can give me advice on it. You know, when I get the pieces in, I want to hook them up and go through it with you. You know, show you the problems I have. Like I say, Being in a power gen, I have a lot of experience with power generation. I have a lot of experience putting my hands in panels. I have a lot of experience with voltage up to 13,800 volts. So when I mess around 220, I'm not that nervous. If you don't, you should be nervous, around it, because not being nervous can be complacent. And I suggest, if you don't know what you're doing in a panel, don't. Get somebody that does. Get an uncle, get an aunt, cousin, whoever. Just don't be sticking your hands in a 240 volt panel if you don't know what you're doing. You can get hurt. You can hurt your family. You can kill yourself. You can burn down your house. You can burn down your neighbor's house. But yeah, just don't mess around in there. So that's my disclaimer. Don't do some of the stuff you see me do sometimes, because yeah, some of the stuff I do might be pretty sketchy, like you see over here on that. But so I'm hoping to use those to backfeed. Now I chose those. I want to, I was originally looking at the blue Sun ones with the limiter on it, because I don't want to backfeed our grid, because you have to get all kinds of permits and all this stuff. And yeah, hey, it's not real user friendly out here when it comes to that. And if it someday I may do that route, but from to start with, I want to just go this way. So I want to limit those. I didn't want to spend the $300 to $400 on that $1,000, or I'm sorry, the 1,000 watt grid tie inverter with limiter all in one, and because that's what they're going for right about now. I'm sure I can find some cheaper or used or something. I don't want to do that. So I was looking at stuff online, and somebody had put, oh yeah, he found out a limiter hack, and what he was using it for was actually really good idea. He got himself a switching CT, current transducer, and he put a set point on it. Now he just put it on his air conditioner or heat pump, whatever it was, I don't remember. So when it kicked on, the normally open, normally closed, I don't know which one he used, the relay in the CT kicked on, and he had a relay, turned on the grid tie inverter, boom, they were on. When that shut off, boom, they shut it off. And that's fine for what he was doing. I want to do the whole house, so I have to put it on my mains that come in. So the problem with doing it his way is, say you pick 7 amps as your turn on point. So you only have one turn on, one turn off point on that CT. So at 7 amps, it kicks in. So say you got a freezer going, it's drawing 3 amps, and all of a sudden your fridge kicks in and it puts out 5 amps. So you're at 8 amps, awesome, boom, it kicks in your inverter. Now all of a sudden the amps coming from the grid drop below that 7 amps, because your inverter just kicked in. So it's not going to need as much power coming from the grid. Boom, it's going to turn off your inverter. Well, as soon as your inverter shuts off, now to run your fridge, it's got to go above that 7 amps. To run your fridge, so it can short cycle. Well, I couldn't have that. His application worked because when his air conditioner kicked in, he could pretty much set that CT at 1 amp, and as soon as it kicked in, boom, it's on. And you can't do that in your house, because if you set it at 1 amp, if nothing's running in your house and all of a sudden somebody turns on a little 75 watt light bulb, it's going to kick in and then shut off and kick in. It's going to do the same thing. So that wouldn't work. So I needed something with a 2 set point, a high and a low. So this way, if your freezer's running at 3 amps, your fridge kicks in at 4, 5 amps, whatever, and it goes above that 7 amps, and it kicks in, now your inverter drops the incoming amps from your grid below that 7, but it stays on until, say, the low one is like 2 amps. So now all of a sudden, so it's staying on. Now your fridge finally kicks off, and boom, she'll drop off. But it should stop that short cycling. So I found something. I don't know if it's going to work or not, and I had to order it, and yeah, when they say slow boat from China, yeah, nowadays they really mean it, because I ordered it like a month ago and I'm still waiting for it, but I'm hoping, you know, to get it in. And I'm hoping to set it up on the bench over here with some of these, you know, solar panels and everything, and demonstrate how I can get it to work, if I can get it to work. Some of my stuff works awesome, some of my stuff, yeah, not so good. But I'd rather set it up on the bench, because I will have to run lines to inside my house to the main panel. And so I don't want to have to go through all that until I can prove it out here on the bench and run it, because my main panel is it's about 120 feet away from where I'm at here in the shop. And I'm hoping to set up everything in the shop, and it back feeds the house. I got a 100 amp main sub panel main breaker over here in the shop that goes back to the house. So it's easy for me to go back to the house. That one you see, that grid tie that's up there right now, that'll put out, like I say, on a good sunny day, peak time, it's going to average about 2.5 amps. What I did before I got that one going is I shut everything down in the house, just like me and my wife were at work. And I took this, you know, clamp on, and I went on each main coming in, you know, both phases. And I checked one, and it was like a 0.5 amp. And then I checked the other one, and everything that, you know, everything that draws power, say the memory in your fridge, the memory in your clocks, your computers, we have one ceiling fan that we just leave it run 24/7, just because we leave it run 24/7. We like it, I guess, I don't know. But everything came to 3.5 amps. That one leg was drawn. So what I did is I made sure the outlet that I hooked up over there into this panel backfed our house on that leg. So it took a little bit of trial and error, figure out which leg over here equals that leg over there. But I did it. So when everything, if that's running at 2.5 amps, I'm drawing 1 amp from the grid. I checked it, it works. So I just can't go over that, because I don't want to backfeed the grid, because it raises all kinds of flags and stuff. So I don't want to, I'm doing my best not to do that. And this is a fluke. A lot of I was in the power gen business, and so I had a tooling account, and I have a lot of really nice tools. I would not buy a fluke for doing what I'm doing. There's a lot good meters out there for a lot less money. Fluke is just, you know, they're pretty indestructible as far as you dropping them off a ladder. I don't think they're any more accurate for anything we're doing. They're just a little bit, you know, it's just a little bit more durable for, if you, like say, dropping it and banging it around, and they just work a little bit better that way. So I'm trying to keep this short, because I don't want to bore everybody. Yeah, I know, too late already. But because the original video I made, yeah, it went like 35 minutes. So it's just like, yeah, my wife's like, yeah, don't do that. Nobody's ever going to watch your videos. I'm not looking to make money off of this. I'm not looking for 10,000 viewers. I'd be happy if I got 7. You know, I have a half dozen people that we can just go back and forth and, you know, talk about your plans, my plans, and, you know, maybe you already have an idea for that limiting, you know, inverter, how to do one of these. And it may be better than mine, you know, and maybe you don't, but you want it too, and maybe mine works, so I can help you there. So I'm hoping, yeah, like I say, my name's Casey. I'm hoping to start doing a little bit more do-it-yourself stuff, because there's a lot of stuff I come across, you know, that I research on YouTube. It's just like, yeah, I want to do that, but I want to do it a little bit different. So, and that's what I come across, just like this solar project. At least I couldn't find it. Maybe it is out there, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, so here's that. I told you I'd show it to you. I'm still working on this whole camera thing. Like I say, it's the first video I do. So when I point you up at the ceiling and you're staring at the ceiling for 30, 40, 50 seconds, bear with me, please. Yes, this is that bad boy. Yeah, it's a 7,500 watt, you know, 9,300 watt peak, And like I say, I worked at Generac for a short spurt, so I got a really good deal on it. That's all I'll say about that. And but yes, I did pay for it. It's just they have a program over here, so I had a really good deal on it. And yeah, I mean, it works great, works awesome. You know, it kept us warm, but it's just when you're without power for a little bit and you don't need to run that big beast, when I could just come out over here, flip some switches, and make it real easy on my wife. If I'm at work and she's working from home, she just comes out here. She knows I was going to number all the breakers, main panel, turn this off, turn that on, turn this on. You can still work from home. You can watch TV and you can still watch the news. So I'm trying to keep this first one short. I'll probably add a couple little short ones on there of other stuff when I'm getting them in. By all means, any questions, feel free. Any suggestions, feel free. Any comments, feel free. I'm pretty going. I got a pretty thick skin. So once again, this is KC from West Texas signing off. Bye bye.